Okay, man, you're in charge of checking the camera, okay? You get that? No? I'll go again. I'll go again, very slow. So, we're running right now. It's about every 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Okay, okay. It will switch to a new movie. So I might need you to just keep an eye if it stops working. But don't worry, I'll call you. I'll be like, what was your name? Jonathan? Okay. Jonas? Jonathan. We'll call you Joe. Okay, Jay. In in the U.S., a lot of people when they find it a little difficult to say someone's name, they just go with the first letter. So I'm Jefferson, but I go Jay sometimes, So I'll call you Jay, the camera, and then you jump on, you say yes or no. I won't make it very hard for you, all right? So what you want to see is just if this thing continues, if the time is going by, okay?
Okay.
All right, cool. Right.
Pretty good. I don't need to introduce you. Probably you're going to talk a lot. We have other students here, so Jeff, it's up to you.
Is everybody in?
Yeah, so it's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, right? Got it to you guys? 7 o'clock? Yes. It's up to you, man. Right on the money.
Right on the money.
Right on the money. Cool.
I just want to say welcome for you all. Yes, it's a pleasure for us receiving you here this night to have this conversation.
Come here, we
with
have
our
more
friends.
seats. Come here.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So feel free to ask all the questions you want. Okay? Do you understand me? Yes. We know sometimes we get shy, yes, to talk. But this is the best place, the right place for you to practice your English. Okay? And you have a special friend here to talk to you. And then you can practice what you learning with us. Okay? We are not here to judge your English. You are talking wrong, it's wrong. No, it's not our intention. Okay? Be comfortable.
Cool.
Cool.
Do you want to do a little?
Yeah, okay guys, this is Jeff Lima from US. He lives in California, and we have a nephew, like, I don't know how to share nephew, you know what I mean, nephew. So he is going to say his history, he's going to tell his history to you, and I hope you enjoy. And this is not an activity for you guys to speak, but just to listen and see what you understand and what you get. Okay?
And sure
so
you can ask.
You're sure you can ask, and probably you have your answer wrote, but don't worry. It's just to listen. As you know, when I say to you guys, please at home do some listening every day, and then teacher, I forgot. And
I don't have
so
time, blah, blah,
today
blah, blah.
we have 2 hours of listening with Jeff Lehman, and as I
talk a lot.
as I scheduled with Carol before, we're going to have some time to drink some water at 8 o'clock, and then we go back, and Jeff is going to play some harmonica. Yes, am I pronouncing this right?
You're good.
So harmonica.
Pretty good.
Yes, pretty good. Yeah, then good. Right on the money, bro. Yeah, so I'm getting to the California, I'm getting to the accent, right? Yeah. So guys, please enjoy, have fun. If you don't understand, just listen, and please write down some questions and the words that you are understanding. Okay? So please enjoy. Jeff, it's up to you. Come on.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Good. All right. So before I came here, I went ahead and started seeing in my head how I would do this, and it's very particular to me to be here today because I was a wizard student, but in Cachoeira do Sul. So it's I have a little bit of love in my heart for this place because it was what prepared me to go overseas. And it's a little bit of a funny story because at that time I was in the military in Cachoeira do Sul, and I was going to English classes on Saturday morning. And I remember clearly in my head leaving the school and walking towards my house, and I would talk to myself in English, like about anything. I would pretend that I was walking in the USA and just like, oh, this is a red house, oh, this is a blue house, this is, you know what I mean? Like just practicing in my head and constantly talking to myself in order to get used to the feeling of actually speaking the language. Because I felt like there was a time or with my classmates that the majority of people were coming to class taking the knowledge that was being passed by them, but the minute they walked out of the school, they just left it all behind. And this is not what you want to do, because it's not in 1 hour in class that you will take all in, you know? You need to continue with you in your day life and just take it in and do it over and over and over to get here where I am today. So, first question is, how are you doing about, how do you feel so far? How am I speaking? Do you understand where I'm at? Everybody, yeah? Yeah? A little bit? Good? No, not good? Don't understand anything? Just a little bit? Okay. Well, is that because you can't hear me well, or is it because I'm speaking too fast?
He's speaking too fast.
Yeah.
Like in this way, speaking too fast. No.
Ou você não consegue me ouvir?
Não, isso é muito bem, muito bem.
Tá, então tá bom. Se você, I'll try to pause and speak a little slower. But it's hard for me because
She's
you know,
saying that is everything okay?
everything's
She's
okay.
saying that.
She's like,
saying
yeah, everything's okay.
Yeah, she's.
Okay, good. Well, but you know what? The reason why I'm asking is because I want everyone to follow what I'm saying. You know, I don't want to just speak here, and you know, I want to make sure that you take something with you tonight. And you know, not only the fact that you listen about my story, which I'm very glad to share with you, but I also want you to make sure that in your heart you get a feeling from what it is to accomplish learning a second language well. Because that was my major goal when I started this. And I don't know what each one of you have in your heart to come here. I don't know the reason why you're coming here. It might be because you're studying for work, or it might be because your father told you you need to come to study English. You know, it might be because you really think that one day you want to go to the US, you know. But whatever your reason is, you are here, you're putting money to learn, so I want you to today absorb as much as you can, so you take something with you, and I hope that something that you're taking with you is a will to continue for the future. Cool? Everybody cool? Cool. Now, two things.
Let me fill with water for you, please. Shall we?
Yeah. So, fear. Does anybody know what fear is? Fear? What is fear? Portuguese. Boa. We need to leave the fear. Okay? There's no fear here. I'm a little shaky myself. So that's good, because you need to bring
Is this your first time doing something like this, Jeff?
Speaking to a class, well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking in English.
Yes,
Yeah.
English.
I have talked about my life to certain groups of people, but not English students. You know, more people that wanted to know about my projects and stuff, but not. So throw the fear outside of here, okay? The second thing is shame. Do you know what shame is? Boa. She's right on the money.
Yes. Very good. Right on the money, man.
That's like that's a saying that we use. That it's like when you get it right, you know, you say right on the money. And it was funny because I said that to him. He was like,
Yeah,
"That's
right on the
the
money.
deal, dude."
I'm going to
Just-
use every day. Right on the money, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
So does anybody know what judgment is? Judgment? Julgamento, yes. So those three things are the key points that led me to become the person that I am, or to get to the level that I am now when I started to understand what they are, and I started to rebel against them. And that way, this is something I would like to pass to you, so you can overcome fear, shame, and judgment. Okay? Why? Because you might be feeling in your heart now that you want to say something, but the first thought that comes in your head is like, wow, what is she going to say of me? Because I've, so don't do that. Don't do that. Because you're only going to know or learn something if you make mistakes. Don't make mistakes, you're not going to get anywhere. For me and this guy, we learn music, we play music. We put an immense amount of hours making mistakes to learn how to play something.
This guy too
You
makes
know?
music too.
Who
Jonathan
does?
knows.
I knew, man, you were doing something, man. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
So, that being said, you need to let this fear go, okay? Making mistakes is the most normal thing. Now, if you live here and you go to the US, you feel, okay, one day when I get there, I'm gonna do it no problem, because nobody's gonna be watching me. It's not really like that, because when you get there, you really go for it, and nobody understands anything you're saying, man, and you're just like, wow, I suck. And that's what you think. You're like, man, I put that money, I went to school for like 3 years and I can't get it going. This is horrible. But, so that's why you have to start here, So when you get there, when I got to the US, I was at, what do we do, 5 books now here? In my time it was like 5 books.
2, 4, 6,
6.
8, and then
It's annual books right now. We
Yeah.
have
Okay.
W2 as year
What
and
is the top level?
W12.
Okay, I went second to the last one.
Mhm.
And I thought that in my head I was prepared to go overseas. That I thought that I was going to get there, everything was going to be fine. Because I did that. I was leaving school and just talking to myself, and really thinking. Oh, another thing I did, in my school we had some DVDs where they were not DVDs at the time, they were tapes.
Tapes.
I'm a little old, guys. Don't. So there was Caçadores de Emoção. You guys know of the movie, and then they now just put a new one on. It was about this guy that was a cop, and he learned how to surf, and you all know what I'm talking about.
No, I'm too new for this.
Well, yeah, all right. So that was the only movie that I actually liked to see, and I took this movie home, and we had we could have rented it out for a week, and I was literally, man, I was the only one who took the movie every week, and the movie was straight in English, and I swear to God, I knew every phrase that was being said on that movie because I was just there watching. So. That's something for you too, you have to listen to a lot of music, listen to movies. If you're going to watch a movie today, no matter what level you are, you should not listen to a movie that's being, how do you say here, dublado?
With subtitles, maybe.
You watch with subtitles.
Yeah.
You can watch with subtitles in Portuguese, but listen to the movie in English, okay? But your major goal, if you listen to the movie being in Portuguese speaking, they recorded in Portuguese, have the subtitles in English. So you will see what they're talking about, and then you make a connection with what you're seeing and what you're listening to, okay? And I did that for a long time. So therefore, when I got to the US, those 3 things, fear, shame, judgment, I had to leave it all behind, man. And I had to leave it all behind when I was here, because it's not your classmate that will think something bad of you for saying something wrong, because your classmate is going to stay here tomorrow and you going there. And your classmate is going to be nobody for you again, because now you got to face it. And you got to talk to people. So you might as well start now. Don't wait until you get there. So I think that's one of the things that I would like to really reinforce tonight. So because speaking with Eduardo, I knew that and I knew that was a problem because it was a problem when I was studying it too. That you get a little shy and you don't want to talk, but you're coming here for that, and that's why, and that's the only way you're gonna progress. And take my advice on that because I know I've been in your place, and I actually didn't have anyone doing what I'm doing to you today, and I hope I am somehow by the end of tonight an inspiration for you to see that, hey, you know what, I can be there too, even though I've been living in the U.S. for over 16 years, you don't necessarily need to live in another country to get to a very good level, because look at these guys, they're doing great, so, but definitely, if you can have the opportunity, if you can have the experience, go live outside of Brazil for a while. And you're not going to do it in 6 months. It's going to take you some time. But if you can spend a week, it will be a big change in your life. Because the minute you get there and you hear the people talking to you, you get to a point where you're like, wow. And then you get excited about it. You're like, okay, I have to really put some work in order to get to an extra level. Okay? Cool? Cool so far? All right. So, leave those feelings behind. I actually made a little note here on how we would break this down.
Nice.
And
do you want me to show them some pictures? Let me check.
Yeah.
Sure, we could do that.
Remote control.
Do you want? Okay, we'll do that in a second. Maybe I'll just tell them why I got there.
That will.
Okay, so I was in the military in Brazil. Does everybody know what the military is? The army.
When
Yeah.
boys are 18 years old,
Yeah, 18 years old.
I have a picture to show
You
them
do?
about
So please
you.
do that.
You and Cabeça and Hat
Yes,
together.
right on.
Now, okay, so start speaking.
All right, so I was in the military in Brazil, and so it's about a year and a half that I've been there. And does everybody know what surfing is? Surf, the sport surfing, catching waves, yeah. So I've been surfing since I was 16, but I wanted to take it to another level. I wanted to go live in another country to surf, and I had Australia in my mind. And I thought that was the place I was going to go, and I was going to live there. And when you're here, you start listening about people that live overseas and how they make money, how they're doing this and that, and how beautiful it is, and how this whole thing that everybody talks about, but nobody knows what's real or not because you haven't gone yourself, right?
Check it out.
So,
1 minute. Okay, let's go. Help me, TV.
carregando, should be loading.
Should be loading. Yes. Here it is.
That's me, believe it or not. No, that's me right there. No. So I end up getting dragged to the military. So now I am in the military, and I'm thinking, man, I want to get out of here, and I want to go really do something that I love, which is to go surf somewhere, right? So one day I come into this office, and there's this persona there that's about to retire. Does anybody know what retire is? When you retire, you're going to what? Yes.
when you stop
very right.
working, yes.
Very right. So this person's about to retire, and someone asked him, what are you going to do now that you're going to retire? And it took him a minute. He goes, I don't know. I haven't thought about it because I worked my entire life. So I don't really know what to do. And maybe I should travel. When I heard that in my head, I imagined myself being at that age and not being able to surf the places I want to surf because I'm that old and maybe I'm not as healthy as I am now. So I said to myself, man, I gotta go and I gotta go now. So that's why I ended up moving to the US. But my idea was actually first to live in Australia, but I met a guy that lived in the US in 1994, and this guy talked me to California. And I knew a little bit about California, but not as much as I ended up learning along the way. So I said, okay, well, how do I do that? I collect a lot of information. I went searching for people that have lived overseas. And it was the hardest thing to find someone around here that have done that. Because you might know someone that have gone, but it's maybe that person is not related to you at all, and you feel a little shy to come and ask how they did that, you know. So, but I was not shy. I was determined that I was gonna make it. So I started searching for people that lived in the U.S. and I started collecting every information that I could. How I would go there, how I would get a job, how, you know, how to work, how to stay, how do you live there. So then I found this guy that told me about California, how you get your visa done, you get this and that. And he told me there's search in California. I said, right on, man, that's where I'm going, California. So I saved my money and got my visa. 6 months later, I got on a plane and I went to California. My idea was to stay there for a few years, and then after that, I would see if I liked it or not, and I would come back. 16 years later, here I am. Have not, you know, and I'm not moving back here. I love there. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay there for the rest of my life, but it is the place that I love to be now. So that was what made me to start this whole journey. Now, so I get my things and I move to California, right? So I get there and there's a funny story that I have to tell. I arrived in Miami and at that time, emails were already working, and my dad is my only connection in Brazil. So it's the only person that in my family knows how to handle an email. You know, people are old school around here, you know what I'm saying? It's a little hard, you know? So I send him an email, I don't get a reply because he knows how to check his email, but he doesn't know how to write one. So it's like, man, you know, I really need to talk to my family. How do I do that? So I go around and I'm trying to learn everything about how do I do that. And then finally someone tells me about a card. Card. You buy a card to go to a payphone. Does anybody know what a payphone is? Famoso orelhão.
That big ear, yes.
Yeah, there we go. So I buy the damn card, right? And now I
used that in 2006
You
when I
did
went
that?
to US.
Right.
Yeah.
And I bet the hard thing for you was not only when you buy the card, but now how do you make a phone call?
How do you use it?
Right, how do you use it? You get there, man, you pull the phone, and then this voice on the phone comes talking English to you, and man, I couldn't understand anything they were saying. So I'm like, All right, so I go around Miami, asking everyone that I see, call Brazil, don't know, how do you, you know, in a very broken English. Finally, after asking like 10 people, I get to a coffee place, and I finally tell this guy, man, how do I do that? How do I call Brazil? He goes like, hold on a second, this lady can help you. So he calls this lady, and I go like, how do you call Brazil, one card, you know, very slow, completely, like super, super not knowing exactly, and I'm asking this person, please, slow, don't understand, you know. So this girl looks at me and she starts laughing, and I'm like, what is she laughing about? And she goes like, você pode falar comigo em português, eu sou brasileira. I was like, are you serious? You let me do all of that just, you know, so that was the thing, man, and that was like how I learned to call Brazil, and then from there I moved to California. I crossed the U.S. for the first time on a Greyhound bus. Does anybody know what the Greyhound bus is? Bus, you know, everybody knows what a bus is. The buses in the U.S., they are run by very few companies. A bus is not like a very common thing. Like here, you get on a Victoria to go. You know.
Wanna win?
It never works, right? Because that thing breaks all the time, as I know. So Greyhound is one of the biggest companies, and it's the only one that you actually can cross the country with. So I remember when I bought my ticket, and believe me, I was not going to do that. It was a friend of mine, the same guy that told me about this experience that he had in '94. He told me to do that so I could see the country with my own eyes. And I really thought, oh, what a great idea, right? So I bought this ticket, and very little I knew that I was going to sit on the bus for 3 days and not see crap, because I'm just like inside of this bus, looking outside of the window, you know. And it was painful. My back hurt, but you know I did it. And for the first time, that was the first time I crossed that country. So I remember I actually showed the lady my ticket, and she goes like, Miami, Los Angeles? Are you crazy? And I go like, crazy? I know what crazy is. Crazy is local, you know? I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. What are you talking about? So jump on the bus, I cross LA, and I go to LA. Now I am in LA, and I get to LA. I had a connection of two people. One was a girl that I met up in São Paulo, and she was a friend of an ex-girlfriend of mine, and she was my connection there. I ended up staying over at her house for 15 days, and she was a great friend. She was a great help in the beginning. And I had another connection of another guy that was going to help me to buy a car. In Los Angeles, you need to buy a car. When you go to live there, everything is very far for you to get. And the public transportation doesn't work as good as you thought it would be. And it's kind of like a little weird. Buses don't go in every place. They just go in like major streets. You know, so it's like sometimes you want to get to a place, you need to take this bus that will go in this major street to a major place, and then you have to walk, man. You know, buy a skateboard. Then you don't walk as much. You just like, that's how I learned how to skate. So I get there, and I call this guy that's going to help me to buy a car. I go over to his house. This guy has been in the US for over 10 years. He's a Brazilian guy from Porto Alegre. Very, very nice guy. Great friend of mine to the day of today. He's got a big group of friends, and they're barbecuing on a Sunday. Brazilian style. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm home. Caipirinhas, you know, great beer, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. And then we hang out. Does anybody know what hang out is? No? Okay, hang out. You know when you hang? If you do something wrong, back in the day, they take you out in the middle of you did something wrong, they will hang you by your neck. Does anybody know what that is? Okay, so when you want to just kill time.
When you
wanna kill the time.
go out with your friends,
Yeah,
just to
when
hang
you-
out.
Right, to hang out, which
To
means
just
like you
doing
just
nothing,
hang.
yes.
Yeah, you just sort of like, you know.
Chilling.
This is slang. Does anybody know what slang is? Slang is gíria,
Yep.
you know. So you say hang out a lot. When you call to your friend and you say, you should do that with each other. If you are friends and you actually go out together, you say, do you want to hang out today? That's how you invite your friend to go out. Say, do you want to hang out? Do you want to kill time with me? So I'm hanging out with these guys. It's late afternoon. We already ate, and we ordered some pizza. And this guy comes to deliver pizza, and I see one of these guys that have been living in the US for over 10 years. He comes to talk to these people, and his English is horrible. You know, and I said to myself, I'm like, this is not right. Why is this guy, you know, he's been living here for 10 years, you know, what is it? And then I understood that there's a lot of people that move from here to other countries, and they look for people of their own, because you always tend to find a comfortable place. You don't want to hurt, you know, your brain, everything, you just want to be comfortable. So therefore you look for your own culture. And then you get there, you don't, again, you're afraid of the judgment, you're afraid of shame, you have fear, so you're not letting yourself up to the challenge. So this guy's been there for 10 years, he barely can speak in English, and I said to myself, man, I don't want to do that. I want to really get this language down. So I called my mother and I said, I'm not talking to you anymore, because I'm not talking Portuguese anymore. She goes like, you crazy? I said, no, don't call me local again, you know, I'm not local. So I took a break from calling Brazil. I was calling Brazil very little, and I stopped hanging out with all the Brazilians I knew, and I went to live with a Hawaiian guy, and I just immersed myself in the culture, because I really wanted to get something out of that. I knew that I could make as much money as I could working there, you know, and save all this money and come back to Brazil with money in my pocket and say, yeah, man, you know, I made a lot of money there, but not take anything with value. And the value is on learning and absorbing the culture, and that's what I wanted to do. And now I'm there, and I put myself aside. I'm living with this Hawaiian guy, and I'm like, man, I gotta get a girlfriend. You know, I gotta make this thing real. You know what I'm saying? So I got a girlfriend. So then I started learning from my girlfriend, and now 6 months later, I'm there. I'm speaking like a girl. Okay, does anybody get that? So I'm talking like a girl. Eu tô falando como uma mulher agora, porque a minha namorada estava me ensinando. So, you know, I'm going like this, like that, and yeah, you know, and it's just not cool, man. So her friends, that are now my friends, they go like, hey man, you gotta cut this off, bro. This is not cool, man. So they teach me how to call somebody like, hey dog, how you doing, dog? Like, you're calling me a cachorro? Are you serious? You know? But that's the way it goes. It's kind of like their nicknames, you know? So, you know, I'm like, then 6 months into it, I'm like, hey dog, how's it going, dog? What's up? You know, and I live in Venice Beach. It's a lot of slang. I'm surfing there on the pier, so I'm hanging out with a lot of, you know, people that are just, you know, the good people, the ones that just hang out a lot. Don't have jobs. They just.
You learned how to talk with your girlfriend, so you decided to get a boyfriend to learn how to speak.
No, man. No, not necessarily. No, but was her friends that were actually become my boyfriends per se. It's funny to say that. Yeah, this is my boyfriend. Well, this is a boy that's my friend. Yeah, well, you know.
And they are my boyfriends. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, you have a lot of boyfriends.
Right. Now you're, well, you're
yeah.
slut.
No.
You
Slow
should
down.
now learn that word. Slut's not a good word. Yeah, so now this guy's really teaching me all of this and that. So, you know, time is going by, and you know, I'm more and more getting to the culture. Holidays coming, and you know, we're now doing Thanksgiving. Do you guys celebrate Thanksgiving here?
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Here,
Dia de Ação de Graças? Yeah,
school.
well, in the school, yeah. No, I mean in the school. Just
We talk about
you talk about
Thanksgiving
it. All right,
at school.
right. So, you know, Thanksgiving coming, and then now they're speaking about they're going to cook this food and what the plates are like. So then you start learning everything about it. You know, it's such a wonderful thing because once you're there, man, it's just like boom, 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 boom at you all the time. But, again, back to fear, judgment, and shame. If I paid attention to those three things, I would not be there. Because then I would never take the step to actually tell myself that I needed to make a change. And I didn't want to be like the guys that were there for 10 years, you know, because I needed to be different. And I needed to do something different to absorb that whole culture and get the language properly, per se. So, you know, I'm there and time goes by, and this is about a year and a half, or no, actually before this, the first girlfriend I had, this is the challenge I had. She would call me, I would not pick up the phone, so she could leave me a message, so I could stay next to the phone playing the message over and over again, trying to understand what she said, and I had no idea what she was talking about. But you know, we would hang out, and I would look at her and be like, we kiss now, we don't, and it was funny, but it was all again because I put myself out there, and then all of that started helping me to get out of the fear of not doing that. So about a year goes by, a year and a half, 2 years, and I really think my English is going, you know, I'm good, and I compare myself to the other Brazilians that I know now, and I am really ahead of everyone. And the reason why I'm ahead is because I don't hang out with Brazilians as much as I do with Americans now. So I remember the day that was key for me was we went out to go to a bar, and I am standing there to order a beer with the bartender, right? And there's a Mexican guy right next to me, and there's a Brazilian guy right next to me. Me and the Brazilian guy went out, and now I'm ordering something in English. The Mexican guy says something to me, and I respond in Spanish, and I'm talking to my friend in Portuguese. And I said, whoa, I think I got it, you know? But it took me about 3 years leaving there that I said, you know what, I am in a comfortable zone now. I think I understand everything that's going on. I know when people are talking to me what they're talking about, and I am able to say everything that I want to say. Because it's a very frustrating thing, as you know, when you really want to say something and the word doesn't come to your head, you're like, ah. But, you know, you only come to practice. So I encourage you, all of you, to practice as much as you can. Practice makes it perfect. So that's the only way you're going to get it. Everybody gets it? Yeah? Cool? Cool. Does anybody have any questions so far? You guys doing all right? Does anybody want to know anything else about how I got there? Don't feel shy, just deliver. If you need to close your eyes and go, Anybody? No? Okay, I have a few questions. What's the reason why you're here? One word, just one word. You don't know? Okay, what's the reason why you're here? Yeah.
I'm here because I like to speak movies in English.
In English, okay.
And I English for getting better in my job.
Okay.
When studying.
Okay. Beautiful.
And I want to study like Canada also.
Okay. Right on. Right on. Yeah, awesome.
Garoto é mãe. Pretty good. Let's clap our hands for Lacey.
Yeah. That's great.
Pretty good.
Because I like English.
Okay.
Existe English.
Right on.
And I like
She,
talking
in English, how long has she been living there? You already can talk to her in English, because you're talking to me right now. Yeah, believe me, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, pretty good, guys.
You, man, why are you here?
Hello. Why do you study English
Yeah.
at Wizard? Why are you here?
Wait, you.
Why? Why do you
Could
study
be in Portuguese,
English?
Paulo, don't worry.
Right. Por que que você está aqui? Por que que você veio nessa escola? And if you, se você não quer responder, se está difícil para você formular uma frase inteira,
Give
pense
words.
numa palavra
Yeah.
que seja a razão que você veio.
To understand.
Okay, great.
To understand English.
Great.
Right on. Right on.
Nice, Paulo.
You know why? You know why? You know what the greatest point about this is? Because English is everywhere. English is everywhere. You.
The
why-
language of the world.
It is. It is
Yes.
the language of the
If you
world.
want to be
Yeah.
part of the world, you
Yeah,
should.
right.
You must talk
And
in
if you,
English.
if you go to France, don't try to speak in English.
Yep.
I mean, you have to, but the French don't like the English. You know what I mean? So, but it is true, man. You buy something here in Portugal, in Brazil, and it comes with the, what do you call it, the manual in English. And man, now you got to deal with that. Like, you know, so because you're coming here, you know how to now. You might not know how to speak it well now, but you have a dictionary. You know how to go and search for an answer, right? Why are you here, brother?
My work.
Your work, okay?
I like English to play music,
Right on. What do you play?
guitar.
Guitar. Do you sing too? Do you sing? No?
No.
No, just play guitar? Okay.
Eu uso bastante no trabalho.
Okay. What is your job? What is your job? What do you do?
Eletrônico.
Electronics. Do you
Não, technician electronic.
Oh, okay. Right on.
At Mutual.
Where?
At Mutual
Multilab, the
Multilab.
company. Yeah.
Okay.
factory.
Okay. How do you use that a lot? Why? What is that? Because the parts and the things you're working with, you have to read about it.
Programação.
Okay, right on. Good. Yeah, you should study English. Actually, the people that are called the web developers are developers in the U.S. and those are the people that are making the major money nowadays in the world. And it's a great thing to do, man. Awesome.
Nice, pretty good.
Anybody else? Why are you here? I knew that. That's a great thing. Have you thought
But
about?
why are you being here as a teacher? Why are you a teacher here?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
I know, because I needed a job.
But because you.
That's good. That's good.
I always liked English, so
Right.
I was really good. Rodrigo, he was here.
Okay.
He was my teacher.
He was your teacher.
High school.
When I'm young, okay?
I want to for my teacher too, man. Cool. Well, so again, everybody has a different reason to be here, but don't make whatever the reason is why you're here to be a burden. Do you know what a burden is? There's a song from the great Rolling Stones band. It's like I can't remember the lyrics now, but it has that word, and the word is like the major word in the song is called burden. It's like when você está carregando peso nas costas, sabe? Ou alguma coisa que seja que maltrate você. Don't let this coming here be a burden, be something that bothers you. It needs to be fun. It needs to be something that you really like to do. And the major reason why you're doing that is just because you want to get better. And getting better is not to prove to anyone else but yourself. Right? You really want to be good for yourself. You don't want to be good for nobody else. Because I'll tell you what, when you're out in Australia with your sister, and you're both walking around, and she's now very proud that you're there with her, and she's trying to show around like her little sister. Is she older? Yeah, okay, so now she's showing around her little sister, and she, in her head, she's thinking, okay, I speak this English, and she probably doesn't know much, and then you surprise her, ordering your food and whatnot, and that, it's when you to yourself, you're going to be like, I did it, and that's when you get the payback. So please continue doing that, because you all are doing this for a reason, man. And the reason why you're doing that is to become better at something. And whenever you engage in something, do to the end. Okay? Good? Everybody on it? Cool. How are we doing so far?
No, we're good. We have like 10 minutes until we have a break. But I was curious about your early days in Charqueadas. You didn't talk about this.
Okay.
I wanted guys, the guys know that you are from Brazil, but they don't know that you are from Charqueadas.
Okay.
Early days. I know that you told us about that caçadores, blah 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 stuff. Your video that you were talking about, that you were seeing every day and watching.
Oh yeah, right. Caçadores de Aventura.
Yes,
yeah.
right
I
on.
wonder what the name is in English, because there's a new movie now. There's a second one now.
Treasure Hunt? No, Adventure Hunt.
No, because when they translate it, they always do.
They always do something.
Nothing to do with the real thing. You know what I mean?
But your early days.
How are you on the camera, brother?
Yeah.
Is this rolling?
Your camera? Is it? I don't know. Check it out.
On it, man.
Come on. Check it out. I think that is. What do you think? O que tu acha?
O que é?
Tá rodando? Is it working? Okay.
Alright, sweet. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, right on. Everybody clap. Yes!
Yeah.
Right there, man. You're doing well, man. You're gonna be good. Well, I always had a little bit of a different way of thinking comparing to all my friends. And, that's a very cliche. Do you know what that is? Cliche, when you you're just saying something that's very common that everybody says. But I did have a little bit of a different thinking, and that might be because my family moved when I was 8 years old. They moved from Butchart to Charqueadas, and then now I have a different group of friends, and I have to really engage in talking to different people and learn different stuff. There's how the cultures are. Charqueadas, São Jeronimo, Rui dos Ratos and Buchak. It's all the same, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, because the people there, they have their thing, and you know. Anyhow, so I come here and you know, I have a new group of friends, and I really felt that I didn't want to be like everybody else. I didn't want to do what they were doing. I didn't want to search for the same way of living. It's funny that I'm looking at this picture right now because this whole thing right here, Universal Studios, is right in the city where I live, and I've been to this place so many times, and it's unbelievable that I'm actually here in Brazil, and that's actually my backyard. I had this thing where I knew that I was going to be doing something that was different than everybody else was doing. So living here was a beautiful thing. It taught me many values that are with me until the day of today, and those are the values that you all will carry on with you, that you only learn from the place you were born. And it comes with the family that you had, it comes with the way they taught you how to be who you are. I was a little bit of a troublemaker. You know what that is? Troublemaker, someone that's always, yeah, like, yeah, sort of, you know, not in a bad way, but a little bit, you know, so I had trouble with people. I don't know, my mind, I could not, you know, the regular way of thinking about things was not the way I actually thought about things. And I knew somehow in my heart that I was going to do something different with my life. And so, you know, it was, the early days were great, man, you know. Brazil is an awesome place for you to be a young and learn how to become an adult. Because I see that now, if I am to have kids, I actually eventually would like to have kids either here or I think here, want to have them close to my family, but not only that, because there's a freedom that comes with this place that you don't get that. You know, when you're 16 years old in the USA, you're not hanging around with your friends. You know, you're not, you don't have the freedom you have here. And that freedom only comes because because there's a trust of all these people that are around you. As much as you think that they keep their eyes on you and they keep watching you, and you don't like that because you're just like, hey, everyone knows about my life. I hate this about this place. In a way, man, because they know about your life, if you get in trouble, they will come to help you because you are a good person and they care about you. And they know, you know what? No, she's a good girl, man. Don't bother her, you know, because I know her. And when you're out there, there's none of that because you're alone. There's no much of that. You are alone. Every time you're out on the streets, man, there's so many people that you don't know. You're talking about Los Angeles, man. It's 17 million people in that city. It's craziness. So you don't develop this. You don't develop this connection that you all have. You're going to be friends forever here. So that's a beautiful thing about living here. And to me, those days were golden. It was one of the best things that happened to me. But I knew I was going to do something different. And I took off, you know, and I went for something new. And every time I come back here, the amount of love that I get from the people that come to see me, the energy I'm getting from all of you now, it's priceless. And, you know, as much I am a foreigner in the USA, and when I come here, I feel that I am a foreigner here, you know, because I feel like the USA is my home. But when I'm there, I feel at home, but I don't have the love that I have here, being a foreigner here, you know. But there, people really look at me like I am the foreigner because I am Brazilian. I have a strong accent. It might not be that strong to you, but it is strong for those that are there, you know. So, and I've been told many times that this is an advice that I will give to you. Don't lose your accent. It's cute. You know what that is? It's cute. By the way, if someone says to you in the US or any foreign country, "You're cute," you go for it, man. If that person likes you, okay, I think that is a good advice.
Jeff, speaking of this, sometimes I am speaking with my students, and I told them that we have this, I like it to eat it, like this little Y in the end of, like, I like to eat. And then it turns like Brazilian, we like to eat, like with an Y in the end of the word eat. And they, as I searched for, they call this like a cute accent because it's like a fomezinha, eat. Like, what do you think about?
I don't know, that's actually new to me.
Yes, I was searching for in the internet. If you go to Google and you type like Brazilian accent, and you're going to find this like a ET with an Y in the end of the word. Yes.
Would it be eating maybe?
Like eat. Like I like to eat, but we say I like it to eat.
Right.
To eat
This way, to eat meat.
You know, I know I never heard of that, but that's funny to know. Yeah, exactly. You know, another thing that there's two things that I find with Brazilians or Portuguese speakers. It's a very common mistake, and I used to do that a lot. You don't say like to do. You know, you don't say like to. When you say like to eat, I'm going to go. You say I'm going to go. I'm going to eat. You know, chew. It's not chew. Chew is chew. Alright? You say going to eat. Going to go.
To, it means we have some to, yes?
Yeah, it's kind of a little short punch. It's like to. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna do that, or you're going to do that, to do that.
I've studied phonetics, then it's...
Right. Well, when you also study how to sing, you learn how to you know, pronounce those things. And you know, a great thing that it helped me a lot, and it might sound a little crazy, but believe me, we're all a little crazy. We love them a little bit, you know. Record yourself. Talk to yourself, and listen to it. You know, like literally, iPhone or any phone you have, it's a great thing to speak on the earphone that you have, because it catches your voice perfectly. You know, it's made for that when you make phone calls. But talk to yourself. Talk on the phone like this, and then you play it back to you, and you hear it. I'm telling you, when you hear that, you're gonna start correcting yourself right off the bat. Do you know what that is?
Paulo had this opportunity last Friday. Paulo, he works at the restaurant all day long. We did a lot of time this phrase just to practice last Friday, recording ourselves in our cell phone, and then we're
like
done.
an extra activity here.
Yeah,
We have
right.
all Fridays night
You
with
could do
teacher
that.
Eduard.
I think that's
This
a
kind
great idea.
of
We did
activities.
this.
Right.
Like in improvement classes.
Right.
Yeah,
You know how I adapt that to me? Because when you're learning a song, how to sing a song, if you actually record yourself, then you can know if you're in pitch or not, if you're actually singing in tune or not, and that's how you do that. And then if you really, want to practice the language, record yourself and listen to it. Because then once you listen to yourself, you're going to be like, man, I suck. And it's good, because sucking is a signal that you actually have to get better. Because if you don't suck, it's nothing fun, man. Then what? Then you already think you're a master. You have to really realize that you're not that good, and then you're gonna get good one day. But I'm sure that there could be many other people that I have less time of living outside of Brazil that could speak maybe better than I do. But I'm sure the drive in their head was also the same that I had, was to learn, and then become better at it. So you don't stop, just go for it. Just try to learn as much as you can. Cool?
Yes.
Do you want to take a break? Or do you
No, sure, more 5 minutes, and then
Okay,
we'll
all right.
break. Take it
All right.
Drink of water.
Where were we then? Let's see. What should we talk about now?
Your area around here, Chicago, and your different mind living here and thinking about living
Okay, that's where I was. Right.
Yes.
So why I moved there again was because I felt that I was different, and I felt that I wanted to do something different with my life. I remember when I was very little, grabbing magazines and going through the magazines and seeing these pictures of people surfing other places, and I just like imagined myself being one of those people, you know. And there's something else that I would like to tell you about, and this is, you know, it's very particular to everyone, but you have a power in your mind which is called the power of visualization. Do you get that? Does anybody see that? It's when you visualize with your mind's eye. Do you know what your mind's eye is? O olho da mente. So when you visualize with your mind's eye that you see yourself doing something in the future. And I sort of had that going with me a lot. So I always thought that I was a little crazy, you know, just because. But I saw myself through the magazines speaking to all these people that I wanted to do that. And I always had this drive of listening to people that came from other countries with all this baggage of this different culture that they know now. And I thought that was so cool, man, because to me, it was very hard for me to understand that we have to grow up and live in the same place forever, and that to me it was not growing, you know. And if I'm not growing, I'm not living, and that basically is what the drive is for me. That's why I think California has become such a home for me, because it's a place where you are young forever. And you're not only young forever just because you're not going to be young forever physically. Of course, you're getting old, you know, there's wrinkles, there's this and that, but your heart, your mind, you stay young forever. I go surfing, and the people that are in the water with me, they're 60, 70 years old. You know, and we're speaking the same language. We're talking about, you know, how the waves are. We're not talking about how much money we're saving to buy a new house or this and that. And, you know, to each its own, but it's the drive, you know. It's like, where are we going to go? Are we going to go surf Australia? Are we going to go surf in New Mexico when a new swell is coming? It's all about this drive of being healthy and growing healthy. So, you know, California is a very place where you really can be who you are, or who you want to be, you know. Because again, when you hear, let's say you change the color of your nails, your hair, now you're getting judgment, you feel the shame of doing that and whatnot. In California, if you don't do that, that's when you're estranged. They look at you like, what's wrong with this guy? He's got no, you know, he's not cool. And believe me, I heard of that from a guy that was 80 years old and his hair was green. Green. This guy is 80 years old and his hair is green. And I looked at him and I said, man, your hair is green. And I'm like, you got style. And he goes like, if you ain't got style, man, you got nothing. And that's Venice Beach, you know, and that's California. They let you be who you are. And that to me, it was what drove me to really realize that was home. Because, you know, you can really dream of something, work and have it. You know, you think you're learning guitar because you have a passion for it, right? But you don't see you might not see yourself like guitar is something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life, and this and that, because you are locked on something else. You also have your job, you also have, you know, and I don't know what are the desires of your life. I'm not sure if you really want to be the best guitarist in the world, or if you want to be the best developer in the world, you know. But whatever it is that comes to you, and if you're only doing guitar as a hobby, you should never stop playing guitar because you're afraid of what other people might say. You know what I'm saying? And that is something that, you know, I feel like living here sometimes it's a little bit of a weight on everybody, because you're always so concerned about what other people will say, and you kind of forget to do the things you want to do. You know, your sister in Australia, man, I'm sure she's having the time of her life. Isn't that true? How long has she been there? 1 year. Is she going to stay there, or she's coming back? problem con that. She wants to stay there. And do you know why? Because she feels free there. You know, it's different. It's a new challenge, man. You find this thing about living, you know. It's not living when you wake up every day, you don't have anything to go for, you know. Because I'm telling you, I know, we all know, when you have to go to a work that you don't like to work at, it just becomes, it's hard for you to do. But now when you make a change in your mind and you say, I'm going to do this because I really want to do that, you wake up in the morning, man, you're like, I'm going, the world is mine, you know, and you go for it. So whatever it is, the reason that you're here, again, might be because make the best out of it, because one day you're going to need everything that you're learning here today. And believe me, if you actually put the time now, because you are here, you're coming here for a reason, and you are putting time, and you really make the best out of this time, sometime ahead in the future, you're going to compensate from that. But at any point, don't stop living your dreams, your desires for a better future because you're afraid of what someone will say. Don't do that. Just let go and go for it. And do that now. When you're here in class tomorrow, there's something you want to say, just bring it on, you know, because if you don't do that, you're always going to be in your head. You're never going to be as good as you want it to be. And it's only you that's going to make you better. And that's the only way you can get there. So do that, please. Cool? We good?
Let's have a 5-minute break. Let's go to the restroom and drink some coffee and some water, stretch our legs.
Don't forget,
yes?
We have to go
5
to
minutes.
Okay, you said so.
Yes. Let's drink some water and then we go back. I will play your videos.
All right.
I don't know if you want to play some harmonica. Yeah. Like we share. So.
Excuse me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Raise your hands. Who wants to be the first one?
Yeah, me.
Leal. No, Leal. Yes, Leal. Okay, it could be in Portuguese, don't worry, okay?
Yeah.
If you guys have questions, even in Portuguese, please, manda pra cá. Okay? Let's go, Leal. Even in Portuguese.
Como é que foi pra ti lidar com a mudança, tipo, total de rotina daqui, da tua vida aqui, pra lá, tipo assim, de, tipo, não ver teus amigos daqui, família, e mudar tudo, tipo assim.
English. Pay attention.
Will you get it? Do you get it? Could you follow? I can do a little bit in Portuguese and then I'll finish it. Okay. Pra mim não foi difícil, porque eu estava extremamente excitado de ir para outro país. Eu queria realmente fazer essa mudança na minha vida. Claro que eu senti muita falta da minha família em especial, mas eu não senti falta de nada relacionado ao morar aqui. Porque, como eu falei antes, eu me sentia extremamente diferente morando aqui. Não extremamente diferente, não vou falar que não tinha nada a ver comigo, por exemplo. Não, tinha, sim, tinha, mas eu queria fazer uma coisa diferente. Quando eu cheguei lá, eu fiquei, sabe, I was feeling in heaven. And what to some might be a really hard thing to do, to me was the best thing I was doing, you know. So I actually met a lot of people that couldn't take it. They had to come back. They miss their friends, they miss their life. The life there is not that easy. It's not that easy, especially when you're really going to leave them. You know, the jobs you get, you're going to be washing dishes, you're going to be parking cars, you're going to be serving tables, you know, you might be mowing grass, you know what it is, the cutting grass, like cortando grama, you know, so, you know, to some that is something that they don't want to do, you know, and I don't blame them, you know, because maybe you have it right here, you know, maybe you have a great opportunity to have a job here which doesn't require you to do those things that are hard, because they're hard, you know. Imagine yourself in a restaurant on Friday night washing dishes. Cool, I love being in America. Oh, this is great. And a Mexican guy right there, orale! You know? That's not like the thing you really dreamed about, you know? It's not what you dreamed about. It really isn't. But hey, you know what? Nothing's really perfect, you know? So the next day in the morning you get up and you go surfing. And you say, yeah, man, I love being here, you know. So I don't know. To me, I was in heaven. I really wanted to do that. So it was not difficult. But in another hand, I found some people that had that difficulty, and they end up coming back home. So if you are attached to your parents or your friends in a very strong way, I'm not going to say that, you know, but you might not stay as long as you thought you would. So still go, but to each its own. So it might be hard for you, or it might not. It all depends. But you're young, your mind's going to change a lot. So eventually you might say, you know what, that guy was right. I'm out of here. You know. Well,
Okay, but who else? Questions? It could be in Portuguese. You go. Come on.
No.
no, he's got
In English. Nice, pretty good.
Go ahead, Ron.
Okay, go ahead.
What food did you miss the most?
My mom's stroganoff. Actually, my mom's yuca salad. You know what yuca is? You know what a yuca is? Aipim. You don't find aipim around there. You know, and when you find it, it's not like a salad.
Neither beans.
You do find Mexican beans, but
But not the same.
Yeah, not the same at all. They are actually refried. It's not that good.
Or cold,
Right.
like salad.
Right. So whenever I'm coming here, my mom knows she needs to make stroganoff and she needs to make yuca salad. Those are my favorites. You get that? Entendeu? Estrogonofe e salada de aipim. Inclusive, quando eu cheguei aqui, era meu aniversário sábado passado, e o churrasco era só salada de aipim e frango. Não fala pra minha mãe não, foi a melhor coisa.
What else? Who else? Let's go. Questions to Jeff. Vamos lá. It could be in Portuguese. Vamos lá, Alice.
Do you know what other cities do you know in your university?
Long story, bro. 27 states.
You got time? Last year I did a cross-country tour.
I'm going to show them some pictures. I just need
Right,
to find
before
my
I go
remote
ahead.
control again.
Right here.
I lost my remote control again.
So-
I'm going to show them your band.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, with
Let's
the
go.
motorhome.
Keep talking.
Okay, so I'm a musician, as you all can see from the harmonicas there. So last year I launched myself on a project of my own. I started a project as a one-man band. You get that? Like a one-man band, like a whole band in one man. You know how people do the one-man band by like playing several instruments at the same time? I don't do that in that way. I actually use machines that actually do that for me. So when I launched this project of being one-man band, I bought this.
Not right now.
I bought this. I bought this motorhome, and I went across the country. Do you get that, across the country? Like cruzando o país. So I crossed 29 states in 6 months, and so I know a lot. Yeah. So I used to say, this is my car. It's oh, I love this car. It's been home, man. It's been a wonderful home. It's a 1983 Toyota Dolphin. 1983 Toyota Dolphin. Some of you were not even born. No. It's 4-cylinder. Okay, so 4 cylinders, 4-speed. Top speed was 55. I literally, man, I was driving and I was holding a line behind me, and people were like, ah, get out of the way. And I'm just like, yeah. I'm not in a rush. You are? I'm not in a rush, you know? So I put 2 solar panels in this car. This car is totally off the grid. Do you know what that is? Living off the grid. Grid is it's a terminology to talk about how the world living in a system, and the system is like we're plugged on the electricity here. we depend on resources from the government to live. We, we use the power. We buy food in the market. So therefore, actually, I'm not totally off the grid because I still had to buy food from the market. But I have a stove. You know what a stove is? Fogão. I had a fridge inside of this car running by solar. So freezer com painéis solares. So I don't need anything. I can just park this car and live on this car for weeks if I want to, without having to use power from the government. So it was a beautiful thing, man. And as a matter of fact, I still live on this car and on a sailboat that I own, which is a veleiro. And so I divide my time in between this car and the veleiro.
What else? You? The thing?
I see you play
Harmonicas.
harmonics. So how do you have this idea to start to play this? I love music. I sing. I play.
Right on.
I play piano.
Right on.
Keyboard.
Keyboards, yeah.
Yes. And when I saw this, I think, whoa, this is incredible. I like this, and I think, how do you learn to play this? How do you have this idea to start to learn?
Well, because I'm a little crazy.
Just a little.
Just a little.
Sorry.
I was learning guitar when I was 16, and I got to a point where I didn't go very far. And then when I moved to the U.S., I started living with musicians. A guy played guitar, this other guy played bass, this other guy played drums, and I needed to fit in, and here I am, and I didn't sing. My singing was horrible. And I wanted to play something. So one day we were going to camp. You guys know what camping is? We go acampar. So we're going to camp and we're listening to the music on the radio. And do you know a band called Blind Melon?
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
You've heard their songs many times, you're just not relating the name. So there's a song called No Rain, and there's a harmonica solo on that song, and we heard that song, and my friend said, why don't you buy a harmonica? And I went to the store, and what was the first? I picked up a key of A harp, and it felt, the minute I put it, in my mouth, it felt completely natural, and I was like, wow, I really like this, So from there, I really YouTube, and trying, and I was very fortunate that my friends were willing to let me play with them. So, and I was very shy, I was like, oh man, this. And they would call me on the stage, and I'm like, oh no, So I get there and just like really try my best, So I continued doing, and then I actually went to a club one night, and I saw a guy playing harmonica, and I came to him and I said, can I take some classes from you? And he said, no, I'm not a good player. I just do this for fun. But I know a guy that can teach you. And I went to this guy, and his name is Stanley Behrens, and he plays for a band called War. You know this band. This band plays that song, Low Rider, So he plays for this band. This band is still touring around the country, and he taught me a lot. And it's been a journey of just learning on my own and getting advice from people. And I just really engaged on the thing, and that was it for me. Yeah. Well, it was Blind Melon, the song No Rain. Listen to that song when you go home. It's a beautiful song. And try to translate the lyrics if you. By the way, guys, if you want to be in contact with me, you can. I'll give you cards by the end of the class. You can hit me up on Instagram, or you can also ask Eduardo to get my WhatsApp. And feel free to contact me for any reason you want. I take my time to answer, so don't think I'm ignoring you. I just have a busy life, but I will get back to you eventually. Okay? So feel free to do that if you want. Yeah, but that was the thing. No Rain. Look for that song. It's a beautiful song. Anybody else?
questions. Let's go. Vamos lá. Be Portuguese. Vamos lá.
Go ahead now.
You trip along, right?
Hmm?
You trip along.
Do I what?
Trip along.
You trip
Trip
along.
Oh,
along,
did I go along? Yes, I did. You travel along.
And you are always sleeping.
Am I dreaming? Go ahead, go ahead. Say it again.
Are you always sleeping?
Oh, am I always
Traveling.
traveling?
Yes.
Yes, I am. And I want to do that for the rest of my life. Yeah. I have a strong passion for getting to unknown places. The reason why I did that on this van was because I wanted to, I used to use this phrase, the plan is to have no plan. You get that? O plano é não ter plano. And so every day to me was a new adventure. Sometimes I would get anxious at the end of the night thinking, okay, where am I driving tomorrow? You know, where am I going? And then I would upon my way for the next day to decide, okay, I'm gonna go north, I'm gonna go west, west or east. So I love traveling, man. I love meeting new people. I love going to different places. There is something in my heart that just, I feel so alive when I do that. And it's a good thing, but also it's a not so good thing because, you know, in order to have a family and stuff, sometimes you want to be in one place, you know, and I don't really want to be in one place. So I'm very alone the majority of the time because I'm traveling on my own. But you know yourself a lot when you're doing that, you know, because you're taking the time to absorb things on your own and understand, and you talk to yourself a lot. So you teach yourself a lot of stuff. So yeah, I do travel a lot, and I love traveling.
Nice. What else? Who else? Questions. Let's go. Don't be shy. Could be in Portuguese. Vamos lá, Paulo.
Do you live only in motorhome?
No, I also have a sailboat. Do you have a picture of
Yeah,
the sailboat?
I will have to check, but I don't know. But keep talking. I was
If
afraid.
you don't, I might have it. Or I'll send it to you via. Eu tenho barco também, veleiro.
Is this one?
No, this was when I was traveling. That's when I was. This is hold on a second. This is my
Okay.
one-man band thing here.
I want to get back. Let's
Okay.
Some minutes, some seconds.
Um,
Yeah. Right now.
So, não, eu tenho um veleiro também. Sabe o que é um veleiro? Sabe o que é um veleiro, né? Eu tô pensando em português achando que eu tô falando em inglês. É que, cara, a gente chegou num nível já que esses dias eu tava scrolling on, scrolling, like passing pages on Facebook. And I read this thing, eu li essa coisa e eu achei, eu pensei num amigo meu, mas eu já tinha passado a coisa que eu tinha lido. E aí eu pensei, cara, vou mandar isso pro meu amigo. Meu amigo é de outra sonho, um cara que mora aqui no Brasil. Eu pensei, vou mandar isso pro meu amigo. Eu pensei, cara, fala em português ou em inglês? Eu nem sabia, cara, porque eu sabia que ele não ia entender inglês, né? Então eu tive que voltar lá pra checar. E a coisa estava actually em português, estava em português.
Tava
Mas,
actually.
então eu já não, sei lá, às vezes eu me perco, eu não sei mesmo, sabe? Mas voltando à tua questão, eu divido meu tempo entre o motorhome e o veleiro. Mas quando eu estou viajando, é só o motorhome. Eu não vivo no veleiro.
Eu tentei perguntar se o senhor mora sozinho.
O senhor não, cara.
Mr. Jack.
Você mora sozinho no
sozinho?
Sozinho,
Sim,
only,
sim.
só, né?
Yes. Do you live alone? Do you live by yourself?
Do you live only in America?
Oh, do you live alone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alone.
Oh, because when you said only, you're saying just, like you're saying only on this thing, you know what I mean? Like you mean like apenas, você mora apenas nesse carro? E, não, na verdade eu divido meu tempo entre... Não, mas eu moro sozinho. Basicamente, nos últimos... eu estava numa relação há um ano e meio atrás, mas mesmo assim eu estava viajando, eu via muito pouco minha namorada. E basicamente, cara, eu estou sozinho nos últimos 2 anos desde que eu comecei esse projeto. é muito difícil de achar pessoas que estejam na mesma sintonia para fazer, porque tu precisa do tempo e da vontade, do dinheiro para chegar nos lugares que quer chegar.
Questions, let's go.
Casamento é inglês ou português?
Não sei. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. It has no difference for me anymore. Sometimes it's, you know, I speak half Portuguese, half English to myself. I dream in English, I dream in Portuguese, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Karine, when you get advanced in level, sometimes you are talking in Portuguese and you mix words in English.
Yeah, you do that a
It
lot.
happens with us
Water,
when
brother.
talking to each other, Rodrigo and I live at home with our children. It happens for sure. We didn't spend so much time as Jack.
When you are doing your job, do anybody ask you where are you from?
All the time.
Eu?
But they don't know. And that's the reason why they ask me, because my accent is, it's funny, I used to say that it's a surfer's dude mixed with the
So
California
they
layback.
are asking you, thinking about that, which part are you from US, and not comparing if you lived in other countries.
When I'm traveling.
Do you feel that?
No, they know I'm a foreigner.
Okay.
They know I'm a foreigner. But they do, you know, when I was in other states, they knew I came from California, because Californians have this
Because
way
of the accent, yeah.
you know, saying, dude, what's up, and, you know, right on. And
What's the kind of word that you speak that you seem like a foreigner? For example, I don't know, thought, and then you see that you don't have the TH or something
I
like
work
this.
a lot on the TH, man. That's,
Yeah.
that's something
But
I'm proud of.
What is the word
Um,
that they, okay, you were a Brazilian guy, what's the kind of word?
I don't know, it's hard to say. I would not be able to, I'm not able to really think of one right now, but I catch on the moment, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I was totally Brazilian on that one. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Going back to my question, when the people they find that you are from Brazil, how do they feel?
They love it. They love it. Yeah, people love Brazilians. Man.
Yeah, in general they feel that.
You know, you've been to it, right? We are very well, people love Brazilians. And one, they think we're just party all the time.
I used to have a manager and she was all the time angry, doing something like that, and I, oh, don't do that, come on. They
Yeah.
like us because we are all the time happy or
Also,
something like
you
that.
show you
Yeah.
can communicate. You were okay.
What was that?
Also, you show the others you can communicate. Even when you say, "Oh, I'm from Brazil," don't do that.
Right.
Yes.
People they
No,
love
there's
us.
nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, it's, you know, we're the only people in the world that actually look at ourselves and we go like, oh man, I hate this country.
Yeah.
You know, we're not only the only people, because I know a lot of Americans that will say that, especially with Trump right now. You know,
Yes.
we all hate that guy. You know what I mean? You know, you're never gonna find an American guy saying like, I hate USA.
Yeah.
No, they're very proud to be Americans, you know? And I'm very proud to be Brazilian too, man. And we all should be proud to be Brazilians, you know? It's a beautiful country.
Maybe the only difference is because they really have proud to show everybody they have proud of their land. And we have the same proud, but we are ashamed of showing everybody that.
Very true. And what also comes from, it's the culture, you know? You're taught that way. You're taught to be proud of being American. And in Brazil, you're not taught to be proud of being Brazilian. You actually are taught to be like, you know, that's how Brazil is. And it's not good, you know? It's not how Brazil is. We're all making a change here. We all are the change in the world, you know, especially the younger ones, you know? Unfortunately, we live in this country, I mean, I don't, but you do. That, you know, it's very corrupted and you feel powerless because no matter what you do, the government has a bigger power than you, and then you feel like sometimes you're hitting a wall, but, you know, if you don't keep on trying, you're never going to get anywhere. So, you know, be proud of your country. That's all I'm saying. Because when you're out there, people ask you from Brazil, they look at you like, yes. Yeah, they like that. Because they know you're free. Your spirit's free. Brazilians are very free and happy, which is a great thing.
What's the difference of doing what you do in US and trying to do that here in Brazil?
I would not do that here.
Why?
Why? Because I would not succeed. I don't think I would succeed. I mean, maybe if I actually learned to play sertanejo on harmonica.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, since I've been here, man, that's all I listen to. I'm like, God damn it, Jesus.
You must not, please.
You know? Yeah.
We already have a ton of sertanejo here.
They
No,
say
please.
delicious, delicious. Oh, if I catch you.
Yeah. So the difference is I play music on the streets. I am what they call in England busker. That's a new word for you. I actually, it was a new word for me a couple years ago. I learned that. It's street artists. So we, exactly like this. I go out on the streets and I play for tips, gorjeta. So I also sell CDs and stuff, which I should have brought some with me, but I didn't. But so it's it requires a certain you have to be a little you have to have a little bit of a courage to come and start something out of nowhere, because people are just passing by and going about their day, and here you are, you stand in the middle of nowhere and you just start making music. But in the US, the culture of tipping and making you I also served tables many years, and when you serve tables, the way you make your, and I still do to the day to day, but the way you make your money is by the tip. And by the way, guys,
I worked as a housekeeper, and I really did love working as
yes.
tips.
When you see the tips, you're like, man, yeah. And by the way, learn how to tip.
Yeah.
Don't go to the US and don't tip. Then they're not gonna like you, because a gorjeta é o que paga o salário dessas pessoas. You need to tip. It's 20% nowadays. Used to be 10%, but anywhere between 10% and 20%. Just a tip for you if you go. That's how people make their money. When the hourly salary is not great, you don't make money by working hourly. You make your money by tip. So therefore, playing on the streets, I make money from people's generosity, because when they like you, they pay you with money. And I don't think anybody in Brazil would be dropping the money, so I don't think I would succeed here, yeah. And I don't know if that is one of you guys' questions, but just so you know why I play on the streets. I feel like nowadays the world of music has been corrupted in some ways. Where you go to play in a club and then the club requires you to sell a lot of tickets and get everyone to, so now you're not promoting your show, you're promoting more of a party, and I kind of rebelled a little bit against that because I wanted to have more of a feeling of standing there and touching people directly out of nowhere. So when someone that's going about their day stop and listen to me and they come, hey man, that was very good. That pays for me. That's what I really love about doing what I do. Yeah.
What kind of song?
It is a mix of I beatbox, like, and then I loop on that machine right there. And then this machine right here is a guitar effect board where I adapt to play harmonica on. So then I record a bass line. I have 5 tracks right here on this loop machine.
That probably everyone here will know because Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran is doing that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so right. So then I switch the effects real fast, and I make the harmonica sound like a bass. So I record the bass line, and then I make the harmonica sound like a guitar or like and I create harmonies.
It's just instrumental. You don't sing.
I do sing.
Oh,
yeah. And then, so once I build the whole song, I start to play on top or I sing on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? Questions? Let's go. We have a couple of minutes. Questions? Let's go. Vamos lá. Karine, girls.
Anybody else?
What else?
Go ahead.
já foi em algum concerto, orquestra, lá?
Ó, se eu toquei ou se eu fui
Se eu
assistir?
já fui assistir.
Orquestra, tu diz orquestra como uma...
Violinos,
Não,
cellos.
não. É do meu interesse. Tem muitos concertos assim lá. Na verdade, cara, o mundo artístico lá é extremamente valorizado. Então, tipo, sendo um harmonica player, tu consegue make a living. Violino, make a living. Então, existem uma quantidade muito boa, de muito bons artistas que conseguem viver disso. Então, quando tu vai a um concerto assim, tu te sente extremamente... Tu recebeu o que tu foi pra ver, sabe? Mas eu não tive oportunidade não, eu não fiz a oportunidade de acontecer.
What else? Eduardo, vamos lá. Lá.
Pronto.
Did you go to the United States to meet or to work?
To meet?
Or to work?
Okay, do you wanna... Okay, do you wanna speak that to me in Portuguese? Quer me falar em português o que tu queria dizer com a cidade? No, there's nothing wrong, but go ahead. Okay, so you wanna, quando escrever ela de novo, do you go to US to know, not to meet? Because meeting is I met you today, you know? So meeting is like eu te conheci, te encontrei. To conhecer is to know about. I went there to, my first idea was, at least what I told myself and I told my father, was, okay, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna become rich. That's what I thought. Because you learn from other people that you think that these people go there and make all this money, and you come back here with a lot of money. And I was very poor growing up here, and I thought that would be a great opportunity for me to make some money. Eu falo pouco em português para que tu entenda a resposta. Eu achei que eu ia para lá fazer dinheiro e era esse o motivo que eu contei pro meu pai, para mim mesmo. Eu ia para lá e passar 2 anos só e voltar com o bolso cheio de dinheiro. Só que quando eu cheguei lá, velho, a única coisa que eu não queria fazer era trabalhar. Eu só queria surfar o dia inteiro e curtir minha vida e aprender sobre o lugar. So, yes, I wanted to get there to work. But I also wanted to learn about the place. But actually, when I got there, then I only wanted to learn about the place. And then job was necessary, working was necessary. Because, if you don't work, you don't make money, and that's it.
Nice. Eduardo, não? Não? Vamos lá. Ele perguntou também.
Where's this place?
This place is Santa Monica, Promenade Santa Monica.
I have a cousin living there.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Right on. Well, we should be in touch because that's pretty much where I live. Santa Monica is right.
Oh, Santa Barbara. I'm
Santa
sorry,
Barbara.
it's close to.
Okay, that's a little farther than from
Yeah.
this place. Yeah. I play on this place a lot. It's you know how Porto Alegre used to have, I don't know if it's still on, but Pula Praia. It's the same style sort of thing. It's full of stores around, and artists you have to get a permit. You go to the city, you pay a little bit of a fee, and you get a permit, and the permit's it's not showing there. And then you just there's spots that you can play. So every every even hour, or either 12, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., 6 p.m., it starts a new time. So you come in and you wait for your spot, and whenever you can, you have 2 hours to play. So you set up and you just go for it. Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you want to play everywhere, you just stop your car and you can go there and start playing and asking for tips, or do you need a permit or something like that?
It all depends. Some places you do need a permit, some places you don't. Some places you can't play. And I learned that in a hard way. because
What do you
I
mean?
because when I left on this cross country tour, well, here's so y'all know the U.S. Map. Like you kind of have a picture in your mind how the U.S. is. So the U.S. is this, big sort of a rectangular thing here, right? So we have California right here. We have the West Coast, California, East Coast, New York, and all the states, and Florida and whatnot. When I started crossing the country, I would come and just park the car, pull up my gear, and start playing, and set up and go play. And then I had trouble with cops. I had trouble with people who owned the stores because maybe I didn't have a permit. Maybe the place didn't allow you to play. And the other thing is having amplification, having an amp. You're not allowed in a lot of places. So if you are a guitarist and you want to play acoustically or just harmonica, like I will play to you later on today, you can. But if you have amplification, you cannot. So that really, to me, it really kills my show, because my whole show is creating these layers to make the music happen. So there were places like that I was playing, and then they came and they shut me down and they said, no, you can play acoustic. And I was like, okay, well, but standing here and just playing harmonica is not that interesting, so I had to move on. But yeah, no, it's some places you need a permit, some you don't, and some you cannot. Yeah.
Nice. Jeff, just to practically close as our time,
Okay.
and a question that everybody wants to ask you, that what was the worst and your best experience living in the USA?
Okay. I'm trying to think of the worst so far, and to be honest with you, I don't think I had any bad experience.
Nice.
And of course, I faced a lot of challenge, but all the challenges for me were very. I knew those were the steps that I needed to go through to achieve. And to get where I wanted to get, and so, what I said, that to some was work, for me was pleasure, so, of course there were times where I worked like doing this trip, I ran out of money a couple of times because, I saved some money and I was not making money on the streets, because in the middle of the country I was playing and I was getting shut down all the time. So I got a job driving, parking cars. You know what that is, like estacionando carros. So, therefore, I only had this window of 2-3 weeks to work, and I literally worked. It was one day I started at 7 a.m. I got out of work the next day at 3 p.m. So, for some people that would be like the end of the world, and to me it was like, it's just one more thing I need to do to continue going. So, I don't think I actually had any bad times. And one of the best things for me, the positive thing, I think it happened 2 weeks ago when I caught a wave in a place called County Line. And what happens in California is the sunset is one of the most beautiful things you can look for. The sun sets in the water, in the ocean. And so I actually dropped this wave and I cut down left. And when I saw the sun was setting on the side of the mountains, and it was this big red ball just looking at me as I am riding this wave, and that to me was magic. That was one of
Did you get some pictures of this moment?
I did not. Never did.
You have in your
Yeah.
mind. So, Jeff, I want to thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And of course, that I don't know if I will have the chance to see you again,
Right.
as you probably will go back to the US in a couple of days, like Sunday, right?
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday. And then I want you to close your speech and to play some songs. What do you think? And of course, tell them your social network that they can follow you, like at Lion Harp and etc.
Right.
Facebook.
Right. On Instagram, you can find me at Lion Harp. But again, if you all, I think everything's linked now because you shared my my page.
Yes.
You know, feel free, man, to look for me any way that you want. You can get my contact.
And you have a little gift.
Oh
It's
man,
for you.
that's awesome.
Yes. It's for yes.
Is this to play soccer with?
No, basketball in California. Yes.
This is beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you all. You know, you guys. This is definitely a new experience for me. I never really, other than telling my family, my friends about my story, I never came to speak about my story to people. And, I feel very pleased to be here and share this with you. I hope in some way that I was inspiring to you to continue on this journey. You know, if you have a reason again to be here and make the best out of it. You know, stay strong with it and continue going because in the end, something good will come out of it. And it's very particular to each of you, and you will know because there were times that I'm out there, and I remember my time sitting in class at Wizard in Cachoeira do Sul thinking, oh man, you know, I can't wait to get there one day and really get to use this English and everything. And now I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I actually did that. You know, because it would be a lot harder if I didn't do that. So, you know, you got a great thing going on for you, so continue doing that. And if you have a dream to, whatever your dream is, don't let fear, shame, or judgment stop you. Just go about your dream and continue doing it. You will get there. No matter what. You are able to do anything you want in life. As long as you really want it bad and you put in the hard work to get it, it will come to you. I guarantee you. Cool?
Pretty nice.
So, thank you, Jeff. I'll play a little song again. This is the first song that I started playing on the streets. When I left, none of this was real. I actually had the gear, but it was not ready already to play the songs. And so I started working on, you know, making everything happen. And I was only playing with a little amp, and I was playing like pretty much just straight harmonica, no backtracks or anything. And I wrote the song called One. And the reason why it's called One, it was because it was the #1 song I played. So I hope you like it. I'll get some water because I've been talking so much, and dry lips on a harmonica is not good. I actually started doing the song on this key of G. so much, alright?
Thank you guys. See you next week. Don't forget to do your homework, right?
Just
No?
a second, please. Jeff,
I'll
please
give you
take-
guys a few cards. Yeah, let's take a picture in group, huh?
Yes.